Welcome back to the Cream Spot. I'm one of your co-hosts, the delicious Diggity Dingle, delicious Nickalicious. I'm here with my best friend, the entire intergalactic scalar world of the down under and the above and everything in between.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Let's call one leg Christmas, we'll call one leg Thanksgiving, and I'll meet you between the holidays, Rob Diggity Dingle Dog.
Yeah, buddy, that's me.
I'm
there.
He's got a badass t-shirt with some beers on it. She's got Cheers and Beers.
Yep, Cheers and Beers.
Fresh Vibes, Brew Crew. That's a ultimate fucking dad shirt right there, dude.
On the back too.
Okay. It's cum all over the back of.
Okay, that explains it.
It's just a skeleton drinking beer on the back.
My style.
Ah, you've found us. We're the ones from that they call Brohio, or the Brohio podcast, whatever you want to call it.
We don't even know.
We're still trying to figure it all out. We had a really good review today, Rob. I wanted to read it.
Oh, great.
We had a lot of messages this week that I wanted to get to, but I can't get to all of them. One of our good friends, Aiden, he's dealing with testicular cancer, and he was the one we interviewed a few weeks ago for Bro Talk. So we just want to say, Aiden, keep fucking fighting, man. We're right behind you, buddy. Don't lose sight of the prize. That's getting better, but just know that we're cheering you on. The entire Brohio Nation's cheering you on. If you need a nut, I'll give you one. So, or if you need two nuts,
I'll give you mine.
Yes, that's me and Rob combined make one half nut.
Exactly.
This is from Frankie Lynn P. The review is titled "Idiots."
Very nice.
I always like the ones that just lash out.
Right.
These two guys can't stay focused longer than a minute or two.
True.
They laugh at their juvenile sex jokes like a couple of preteen boys. They continually make fun of people's intelligence or lack of when they have no intelligence themselves.
Which is why we can make fun of it.
Typical bullies. If you make it to the end, you wonder what in the hell was that about. No,
very true.
Ouch on that one. I listen to many podcasts and have never been compelled to write a review, positive or negative. This is so bad and a total waste of time that I decided to do my good deed of the day and warn others. He spelled warn, W-O-R-N, like he wore a fucking old condom.
Nice. He listens to a lot of podcasts. Obviously, he's very well-traveled.
Don't bother with this crap.
We're speaking and talking about a very intelligent man here.
Warn. I've come to warn others.
Like it's his due diligence.
That was definitely a Dan Browner right there, man. What can you do? But that's where you're at. That's what you're dealing with right now. If you've never listened to us before, we're happy to have you. We're two 30-something-year-old dads sitting in the basement. We got a lot going on in our lives. We're into the dark shit. Murders, ghosts, demons. It doesn't matter. It's all there. We are a little late this week. Sorry about that. Shit happens. We get tired. We have obesity and high blood pressure in the family tree. Speaking of family tree, in just a minute, I'm going to drop in an interview.
Yeah.
Rob and I called my beautiful mother to ask her if she knew what WAP stands for.
She didn't.
She had no idea, so we let her know what WAP stands for.
It was a good time.
First off, let's hit up these Patreon subscribers. First, we got Mike the Dick Hawk. Mike Hawk, thanks for your Patreon pledge.
Speaking of dicks, we got Huge Saggy Nuts next. Thank you for that, Huge Saggy Nuts.
Caitlin Russell?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, okay.
Struggle on the easy ones there.
That's good.
Okay.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Blanca Fuentes, thank you.
Ryan Shriver. Hopefully this is the Ryan Shriver we grew up with.
It has to be.
He's the biggest human I've ever been around in my entire life. His dad coached Little League for me. Really awkward situation between me and his dad. And I don't even know if this is the same Ryan Shriver.
It has to be.
But this is when I was about 10 years old. His dad was my Little League coach. He said, "You know you've got a big job this year, buddy." I said, "What's that?" He said, "You're catching. You're the catcher. You're the field general." And I said, "All right." He said, "The first thing I'm going to need you to do is have your mom take you to the sports store and get a jock strap and a cup." And I was so scared to go any further in that conversation. I just said, "Okay." But then a couple nights later, I went and got the cup and the jock strap.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I walked by the phone, and I had this urge to call him and tell him that I had secured the cup. Like it was something illegal, It's like I wasn't supposed to have
drugs.
It. Yeah. And I called him, and he said, "Hello," and he answered. I said, "Hey, Doug." He said, "Hey, who's this?" I said, "This is Nick from the baseball team." He said, "Hey, buddy, what's up?" You wondering about practice, or I said, I got that thing you told me to get. I remember it verbatim what I said. I was so scared to say, I got that cup to protect my wiener. I said, I got that thing that you told me to get. He said, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I said, I got the cup. He said, oh, okay, buddy, you're doing good. Good job, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? I think that cup definitely stunted my growth somehow or another. I don't know how, but it did.
Oh, man, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Good old cup story.
Yeah.
What do we got next? Sydney Walters, thank you very much.
Anna Leaper. Leaper the Creeper the Leap. Leaper Creeper. Thank you, Anna Leaper Creeper, for being a patron pledge.
Bama Brew Review. Thank you.
I don't know who they are, but go check out Bama Brew Review, wherever they are at in the world.
Seems like they may be beer people, so they're good people to me.
And last but not least, Jonathan Luinus. Luinus is like it's like a
low anus.
Little penis. Jonathan Little Penis, thank you for your Patreon pledge. So now let's drop in that interview.
Okay.
With Mom real quick.
Hello?
Mom?
What?
Hey, it's Nick.
It is.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Sitting here on my...
Beep! That's better to be sitting on your ass than somebody else's ass.
I guess.
Have you heard this song called WAP or WAP?
WAP.
No. WAP?
No.
You know what WAP stands for?
No.
Let me read you the words from the song.
Sure, Nick. Are you
No, to stop asking
you're
questions.
You're filming your podcast.
No, you do. No, I'm not. I'm not filming it. I'm recording it.
Recording.
I don't film stuff. That was you and Dad back in the 80s.
Your sidekick there's a dead giveaway.
I can help it. I tried to be quiet, but I couldn't. This is going to be enjoyable.
This song's called Mom. You're going to hear all about this when the kids come back to school, and
it's called WAP.
I want you to be prepared. I don't want you to be blindsided by this. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. It's called WAP. It's by Cardi B. She's really popular right now.
And Megan Thee Stallion.
The songs are the words, I said certified freak, 7 days a week, wet ass pussy, make that pull out game weak, woo.
Woo, gotta have the woo.
It says bring a mop and bucket for this wet ass pussy. That's what WAP stands for, Mom.
I don't think you should be listening to that stuff.
I don't listen to it. I
don't think you should be repeating it.
Well, Mom,
I brought you up better than that.
This stuff is trash. But these kids, I can't say there's N-words in here, but it says
not with the hard R, with the A.
Extra large and extra hard. Put this pussy right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. These kids, this is the stuff I have to. I'm just trying to make sure that you're not getting exposed to this stuff and that you're getting blindsided. You know. It says I want you to park that Big Mac truck right in my little. What? Mom,
go click the down arrow real quick. Yeah.
There's no.
Go. Yeah, it's only like a portion of the lyrics.
Yeah, I'm trying to help you out, Mom.
There you go. Hang on. Going down.
Down? Hold on, Rob's trying to. There's.
Keep going down a little bit more.
No,
God,
it's okay.
It's so bad, Mom.
It says. Nicholas John.
Read the 3 lines.
She's getting embarrassed, Rob.
Especially well after these couple lines.
You're retarded.
I said I don't want to spit. I want to gulp.
Keep going.
I want to gag. I want to choke.
One more line.
I want you to touch that little dangly thing that's swinging in the back of my throat. I didn't make this up, Mom. This stuff. All the kids are singing this shit. And they're going to be, and when you hear the kids talking about WAP, it's going in dry and coming out soggy. That's disgusting.
I don't think you should be talking about this stuff around my grandchildren.
No, they're not around. I would never talk about anything like this.
Right.
I'm saying the older kids are going to come in and they're going to be like, oh, I can talk about WAP in her class. And you'd be like, no, the fuck you can't. Not in this classroom. And you can.
Yep. I know. I can do that. And thanks to you and Rob.
Yep.
Yeah. Is Dad there?
Yes, he's right here.
Let me talk to him real quick.
Go ahead and talk. You're on speaker.
Dad.
What?
Have you heard this song called...
He sounds so pissed.
Have you heard this song called WAP? WAP.
I want to think I have, but it usually goes wop, wop, wop.
No, do you know what WAP stands for?
Yeah.
WAP. What's it stand for?
Why another pussy?
Stands for wet ass pussy, Dad.
Well, close.
You're eating, aren't you?
No, not me.
Okay.
Your mom won't feed me.
All right, I'm gonna. Okay. I just wanted. I didn't want the kids talking about this stuff and Mom not knowing what was going on.
You know what?
Dad, near as much as you did.
You know what FUPA stands for?
Yeah, the Lord has blessed me with one of those. I know what it stands for.
Okay, I'm just checking.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
That's Mr. and Mrs. Alexander.
That's great.
But now my mom knows what WAP stands for.
There you go.
WAP.
You're protecting her, protecting the kids.
Okay. Now we're going to stop recording and we're going to start recording.
Oh, okay, great.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And that was the interview with the original Mrs. Nicolicious, my mother. My real mother, my real birth
mother.
The OG. Not the fucking witch or shaman that found me in the fucking ditch. That was my real mom. And I'm going to let that supersede the article for this week.
Okay.
But I would like you to know that the article that I found, it was about a man that got bitten on his penis by a snake while he was taking a fucking shit.
Oh, no, that's terrifying.
Sure, I'll just read it. I'll read it. Well, fast forward to 20 minutes if you want to hear the article or hear the real episode. A teenager was rushed to a hospital after a 1.2 meter, that's like fucking 27 feet in American measurements, python hiding in the toilet bit his penis, leaving blood spurting everywhere. Sirafop Masakarara, 18 years old, went to the loo yesterday evening when he felt a sudden searing pain in his manhood. He looked down and saw the python with its jaws clamped around the tip of his penis. Ooh. Sirafop said he screamed in terror during the incident in Nonthaburi, central Thailand. That's where Bangkok is. About 20 kilometers north of Bangkok. Okay. He was rushed to nearby Bang Ye Hospital so his injuries could be treated. Doctors gave Sirafop 3 stitches in the glands at the tip of the penis and treated the bite wound with antibiotic wash to kill any bacteria from the python's fangs. Quote, I was using the toilet, but a few minutes after I sat down, you sat there too long, I suddenly felt pain in my penis.
Usually my legs go numb, and now my dick is.
I looked down and saw there was a snake hanging in the toilet seat.
Not my dick.
God, dude. It wasn't my big old fat python dick. Then there was blood everywhere. It was a small dick. No, it was a small snake, but it was its bite was so strong. I hope that my penis can recover. After that day, my penis was never the same. Animal handlers arrived at the 2-story home and began searching for the snake, which was still coiled up in the toilet bowl. God, what a shitty fucking snake.
I think he didn't poop on it because they had to sort through his...
Dude, I'd have stood up fucking helicopter style and pooped all over that snake. Fucking crushed it. They used snake catching equipment to snare the python. They put it into a sack before releasing it back into the woodland. There's pictures of blood all over the fucking place. They interview his mom. She says, I don't know how the snake got into my house. It could have been there through the drain connected to the toilet. I know the snake really hurt my son, but I'm relieved it was only a non-venomous python. If it was a cobra, he would be dead from the dick. He would be scared every time he goes to the toilet.
I would definitely say that's accurate.
Isn't that scary stuff, though, man?
Yeah. I think about that every now and then because you'll see stories like that where there's a snake that comes up from the pipe, or I've seen videos where they come up from them, and I'm like, oh, no, fuck that. So I'll look every single time, but usually it's just a turd that my kid left in there.
You check the toilet for snakes before you shit?
I look in the toilet, yeah.
Man,
for sure, man. I'm terrified.
We had a little get together this weekend, and we had those big guys over, and they said their balls go in the water every time they shit.
Yeah.
They put their imagine.
I mean, it's happened to me once or twice, but for it to happen every single time, I mean, damn.
Yeah, we gotta fucking figure out what's going on with those guys. What kind of Fruit Loops they're eating?
I'll say my balls usually tend to stay real close to my body,
real tight to my body, like a toddler's balls.
Yeah.
Well, I have a really special treat for you for this episode, Rob.
Sure.
We are covering Voodoo, and I tried my best to organize this research as best I could. You want to talk about something that goes in 1 million. It was when I was in third grade. They said, we're going to do our book report, and don't do it on something broad. Do it on something you can actually get some content for and do a good book report. Not something that's going to take you 1,000 different places. So I did mine on baseball.
Of course.
The broadest fucking shit.
Right. Yeah.
And the teacher's like, okay, go ahead and start and you had to give a presentation. And I remember the first thing I said was, Babe Ruth was born in 1919 or whatever year he was born. And she stopped me right there. She's like, you've already fucking flunked it. You failed. Like, you've already fucked up. And I said, you stupid fucking bucktooth bitch. I swear to.
So you made it on Babe Ruth instead of actually baseball.
And that's what this Voodoo was hard to narrow down to just, 1 hour long episode.
I could see that.
But just before we get this episode started, I wanted to do this for you, okay? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Usually you're the one that does the singing, but I'm about to do so.
All right, go for it, man.
I'm not the one who's so far away when I feel the snake bite up from my toilet. Never did I want to be here again, and I don't remember why I came.
I haven't heard that in so fucking long. I really wasn't expecting you to sing that either.
Voodoo, voodoo. What is Godsmack? They're right there with Nickelback, aren't they?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's why I like him. That's why I like Nickelback. That's why I like Godsmack.
God, I haven't even thought of that song in fucking 20 years.
I got the sun tattooed on my shoulder from the Godsmack album because that's my fucking life.
Oh, yeah, man.
Voodoo, voodoo. I know you didn't have TVs or running water growing up, but do you remember that show Fear from MTV?
Yeah.
They played, that was the intro for that was such a good show.
Yeah, it was.
I still to this day, I believe it. People are like, no, it's fake. I believe it. I believe Rob Dog. But like I said, there's a lot of wild stuff that comes to mind when you think about voodoo. A lot of stuff that I didn't even know about. There's skulls and dolls and chicken bones and needles and spells and witch doctors and zombies. Yeah, I didn't know zombie origins kind of come from voodoo.
I didn't either.
There's a lot of, and werewolves as well. And werewolves not in the typical sense that you would think of. We'll touch on that later. Big old hairy werewolves. That's not what we're talking about. There's other werewolves in the voodoo world.
I had a friend growing up that made voodoo dolls.
Okay. I don't think they fucking work. I
don't either. He swore they did. He said there was this one that he made. He said he swore one night he just got done setting the arm on fire, and later that night he said it got up and it ran out of his room and jumped out of his window into a tree, and the next morning he found it stuck in a tree branch.
The doll?
Yeah. He made it out of like straw.
Do I know this person?
Yes, you do.
Do we go to school with him?
We did, yes. He was a grade above us.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
We need to get him on the show. We need to interview him. It's not, does he play guitar?
No.
All right.
I don't know where in the world this guy even is anymore.
Is it the Yogi?
No.
Oh, okay, not that one. All right.
He lived across the street from one of the people that I always used to go over to their house.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
All right. Well, while I was perusing the internet's Rob Dog, I did locate what I don't know. There's hoodoo, there's voodoo, there's Santeria, there's all kinds of different things that branch off from voodoo. But one thing, the voodooists, do is they believe in possession. So that's kind of like when they have these big get-togethers that you see on TV. You're like, beating on drums and shit.
Right.
I found one of those ceremonies.
Okay.
I don't know how I got to it.
Yeah, good for you.
But I'm going to play it real quick for you.
God, I'm scared.
It's really fucking...
Oh, man, I'm already out.
No, it's fine. It's just a bunch of people in an underground...
Oh, hell yeah, they're smoking, too.
Yes. Okay, so right
now...
He
has a bull's whip. Why the fuck does he have a bull whip?
Oh, just this far.
He cracked that whip and a bird went flying like he was beating the shit out of it.
Yeah, this is called Haitian voodoo ceremony.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This makes sense.
Yeah. So there was dumping liquor all over the fucking place, and there's
pouring
a
one
guy
out for their homies,
swinging a goddamn bullwhip.
See, the bird is like, oh fuck.
Okay, and here's where it gets really
good. Oh my god.
It looks like they're in an unfinished basement somewhere, but
that's Haiti, man.
They're pouring drinks to adults and kids from a gas can that says flammable liquid.
Yeah, it's it's a solid white jug that has a red flammable liquid sign.
That's great. So they're pouring it on their hands, and the kids are drinking it.
Okay.
And this guy is going to become he's
man,
possessed
there he
right
goes.
here. Yeah, he's just going. He's ripping his shirt off like
Hulk Hogan.
He's headbutting. Oh God, hold on.
That poor kid.
He's throwing a fucking kid around. Take that fucking kid back. This reminds me of the scene of that Will Ferrell movie, the campaign.
Yeah.
Where he's in that Pentecostal thing and they start biting each other with snakes and shit.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I had some crazy experiences in one of them places in a Pentecostal.
Okay, we'll touch on that later.
Oh man, it's crazy. This shit's wild.
But the best part of this little thing is coming up.
Is that a pig?
Yeah, they're about to fucking cut it up. So they're putting it up on this chopping block, and this is a live pig.
Is that not blood?
Yeah.
Spitting out of her mouth?
Pig blood.
Okay.
So she's possessed.
Oh, hell no.
Watch this.
No!
Yeah. They just whack this pig's ear off.
And she just puts it in her mouth?
And she's eating it, and then they're sucking the blood out of the pig's head. No, they're chopping
Oh, there we go. Chopping
its
its neck off. Oh, my God.
Yeah. But they're all eating it. They're eating this pig's neck, its throat.
Huh.
That's a a Haitian voodoo ceremony. If that sets the stage a little bit for what we're going to be talking about. Yeah.
It just got dark.
Yeah, it did. You thought I was going to hit you with, voodoo it's not that crazy compared to how they make it seem. I think it might be fucking crazier than what they portray it in the media.
Yeah.
Haitian voodoo, which is the video that we just played for one another. You guys couldn't see it, but we're retarded and we don't know how to do a fucking podcast where you can't see what's going on. Haitian voodoo believes in an omnipotent, omnipresent being, almost like Christians believe in God, named Boindier.
Okay.
And I had to write this one out.
Kind of like Boyardee, but Haitian.
Right. It's like ravioli, but it's a god. It's the ravioli god. I think for my money, ravioli is one of the most underrated foods out there.
Yes, big time.
You never go to a restaurant like, just give me some fucking ravioli. I've never done that, I don't think. But every time I have ravioli, I just think to myself, why don't you eat this more often? Why?
Yeah.
This is such a fucking perfect treat.
I just can't justify paying $14 for 5 raviolis is why I don't ever get it.
I can see how that would be a bit of a concern.
Italian food's way overpriced.
Boindier, he's a distant godly being that no one really knows. He doesn't care about human shit. So the belief in voodoo is this god is so higher powered that he doesn't believe and he doesn't care about what humans have going on down here.
As a god should.
He doesn't concern himself. He doesn't dabble in human shit.
Yeah.
Too
busy for that shit.
Exactly. And the way voodoo works is they worship these subservient deities called Loas. And there's hundreds of thousands of different Loas. There's Loas for love, there's Loas for money, there's for death, for prosperity, for knowledge, for wisdom. They have all these different Loas. And you do different things to reach out to these Loas. The Loa receive their power from God or Boindier himself, and the Loas are actually the beings that communicate with God or Boindier on behalf of the followers. During ceremonies and observances like that fucking ceremony where they just cut that fucking pig's ear off and they were making the kids drink gas. Not like fucking, they were making the kids drink fucking ethanol 87. They do these, I guess, to ask the spirits for advice. They ask them for protection, for assistance. The process is reciprocal. Followers must look after the Loa by performing rituals which sometimes come in the form of animal sacrifice, like we just saw with the fucking pig. I hope they ate that pig. Other rituals allow followers to thank the spirits for protection, blessings, or good fortune. To maintain a good relationship with the Loa, followers must also conduct themselves properly according to the customs of both the community and the religion. In this way, the practice of voodoo can influence a person's day-to-day decisions and activities. So that's kind of what they believe in, that you do all of these things like you're supposed to for the Loas, and then the Loas will look after you on your day-to-day life. For instance, if you're having a hard time with money, you can do one of these rituals, one of these dances, these Loas like artwork, interpretive dance, like the animal sacrifices. You can do all these things to make the Loa happy. And then in return, you won't have any problems with fucking money anymore.
Huh.
So we should definitely chop a fucking pig up tonight. See if it works for us. Part of voodoo belief is that the Loa communicates with followers through possession. Like we just saw in that video as well. There was many in the video that were possessed. They were sucking on the pig's neck. They were trying to fuck each other. And there was some really, and I found a lot of these possession ceremonies on YouTube. Some of them are pretty hot, dude. They get these females all worked up and hot and get them gyrating on each other.
All right.
They're like dry humping each other. They're like dancing, but they're fucking dry humping each other. But it's a certain Loa that they're possessed by whenever this happens. There's a
sexy Loa.
I don't know the name of it, but I know the instant that Loa shows up, everyone's like, we know this one. We know who this one is. There's a certain spirit or something. But when this demon or that possesses in these ceremonies shows up, they know exactly who that one is, because it kind of, the way it entrances the people that are possessed is different from other ones. Just much like I turned it on, they were just fucking dry humping each other's knees. But dude, these people just get this weird look, this weird stare in their eyes, and you can tell they're possessed. And they even, people interviewed say you can tell by a lot by the look in the person's eye of how deeply possessed they are.
It's crazy.
It's some pretty wild stuff. And what's fluid about this episode is I got on Facebook and I joined about 50 voodoo groups that I'm really hoping I can find someone for us to interview tonight. And immediately someone wrote back and said, I am what you're looking for, but I cannot help you. And that pisses me off so bad whenever someone writes me just to tell me like, just let you know I can't do an interview. Well, I didn't fucking ask you personally, so...
Or if you can't, let me know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to get somebody... Whatever. And I'm still trying to locate someone.
That'd be really cool if we ended up finding somebody, though.
A fucking witch or something, a voodoo witch, a witch doctor. Someone, I don't remember who he was, but he posted the gif of Papa Shango running down the aisle.
I saw that, yeah.
He's one of my all-time favorites. Do you know Papa Shango was also the Godfather?
Yeah.
The Ho Train God. He was in the WWE for a long time.
Yeah.
He owns a strip club in Las Vegas now.
Does he?
Yeah, he's still the Godfather.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He does a lot of interviews on that Tales from the Dark Side.
Okay.
The Vice thing.
Yeah.
According to the Loa temporarily displaces the soul of its host, and this is in the possession direction here. It displaces the soul of its host or medium and takes control of the medium's body. According to this belief, the mediums cannot feel pain or become injured while possessed.
Wow.
The Loa speaks through the medium, often giving instructions, advice, or prophecies of future events. Sometimes a Loa rebukes followers for failing to perform their duties to the Loa, their family, or their company. In some voodoo traditions, a few select people have the privilege of becoming possessed. In others, the Loa may choose to possess anyone at any time. And that is Haitian voodoo.
Okay.
I think that, yeah. And this is, which is different than African voodoo. No, there's not a huge difference, but there's definitely some more difference in origins here. So we're going to cover kind of both sides of it. And then you're thinking, well, what about all that shit in Louisiana? Well, that's Louisiana voodoo. So we could have done an episode on African voodoo. A few months later, Haitian voodoo. A few months later, New Orleans voodoo. But we're going to combine all of our shitty research into one episode and leave out a whole bunch of stuff so that way you don't really learn much. It leaves you just yearning for more. Now, African voodoo originated in the African kingdom of Fon in Congo as many as 6,000 years ago. The word voodoo comes from the Fon language, in which it means sacred spirit or deity. Other words used in voodoo today also come from the Fon and Congo languages. For example, a voodoo priestess is often referred to as a mambo or mambo.
Mambo number 5. How can you not think of that song if you hear that word?
Do you remember his name?
Lou Bega.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You remember that? I had that album. I had that CD. My dad's like, would you turn this fucking shit down or off or break it or get rid of it? God damn it. Put on some goddamn Iron Maiden or something cool. Turn on that Limp Bizkit you've been listening to. This is a combination of the Fon word for mother or magical charm and the Congo word for healer. The Fon Kingdom was located in what is now southern. This sounds like fucking Wakanda.
That's what I was thinking.
The Fon Kingdom was located in what is now southern Benin, a region some anthropologists refer to as the cradle of voodoo. Oh, man, they would fucking love us there, wouldn't they? People also practice voodoo in Togo, Ghana, and other countries in the northwestern Africa. Approximately 30 million people in Togo, Ghana, and Benin practice voodoo today. And that's from National.
That's a lot of people.
NPR, yeah, that's a lot of people. Voodoo is also an official religion in Benin, where as many as 60% of the people are followers of voodoo. These are the origins and the beginnings of what we call modern day voodoo. So all voodoo came from someplace 6,000 years ago in Africa. And that leads us to the next part, where we find out how voodoo made its way to America,
okay,
which is very interesting here. In the American colonies, African voodoo became what is known as the Haitian voodoo today. Okay, so you're starting to get a little bit confusing here for a second. In 1492, Christopher Columbus landed on an island known to it was an island known to its indigenous Taino inhabitants as Haiti, or the land of the mountains. Christopher Columbus was a fucking racist. Did you know that?
Yeah, and a rapist.
He was a bad dude.
He was pretty much the a Viking of sorts.
He was a Europe
without being fucking cool.
Yeah, and we love him so much. We have a holiday. We get a day off because of him. Columbus renamed this island Hispaniola, or Little Spain. Colonists arrived building plantations that became rich sources of crops like sugar, coffee, and indigo. What is indigo? Is that like
sugar and coffee? Fuck.
Tobacco?
I think so.
I don't know. A lot of money there.
I don't really know.
To make these plantations profitable, colonists relied heavily on slave labor. Eventually, Hispaniola became the countries known as Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Beautiful places. Many of the slaves brought to Hispaniola from northern and central Africa in the 16th to 18th centuries practiced voodoo. I'm not the one. I promised myself I would only do it once. I'm only going to do it once. But the colony's slave code required all slaves to be baptized as Christians. This forced conversion had a big influence in voodoo. Since slaves could not observe their religion openly, they borrowed many elements from Catholicism to protect their own spiritual practice. This process, known as synchronization, say that right? That's a weird-looking word.
Yeah.
Strongly influenced voodoo in Haiti. The names of Catholic saints became the names of Loa. In many cases, the Loa's role reflected that of the corresponding saint.
Okay.
For example, St. Peter holds the keys to the kingdom of heaven and corresponds the Loa Papa Legba, who is the spirit world's gatekeeper.
I like Papa Legba better.
That's what I'm going to start calling him, Papa Schmegma. That's who it's... Papa Schmegma. That was my grandpa's nickname. He used to... Thanksgiving time, we would all eat. Everyone eats, and then you sit back and you everyone takes a fucking turkey nap, right? My grandpa... A lot of people's grandpas would go out on the front porch and start whittling something out of wood on the front porch, get a pocket knife, whatever. My grandpa would sit back with a pocket knife and get his dick out and start whittling the schmegma out of his foreskin.
That's so gross.
We didn't start circumcising kids until me and my brothers were born. Okay, in my family, that's kind of.
You guys are a little late.
That's when it all started.
A little late to the show.
We got an uncle that does it. We don't do it in the hospital. We do it at our 15th birthday. They had to. This is a weird story.
Oh, Uncle Pork Knuckle?
Different uncle.
Okay.
Whenever they did me, they had to lay me face down. We all get together. There's wine and moonshine. Everyone gets drunk. But they had to lay me face down in a beehive and let it sting the shit out of my dick and my balls to get it to swell up big enough to where my stuff would point out far enough that they could do the little procedure where they cut the skin off the wiener.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that, man.
It is what it is. I lived through it.
Yeah.
You ever been stung on your wiener 1,000 times by?
No, I couldn't imagine.
You ever been chased by yellow jackets before?
I've never been chased. No,
I've been. It's
I've
fucking
been stung.
horrible, dude. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Maybe this wasn't from one time I got stung on the dick, but
I heard contrary to Looney Tunes, if you jump in water, they don't give a fuck. They'll wait for you.
I don't know. All I know is I hit a nest on the ground, and these things chased me and my dog probably a quarter of a mile.
Really?
Swarming. Yeah.
Damn.
It was unreal. It was fucking hell.
Can't stand.
Yeah.
I mean, I like bees, don't get me wrong, but I don't like when they chase me.
Yeah, they do a good job.
Wasps, I don't give a fuck about wasps. Right. They're assholes.
Catholic religious holidays became voodoo holidays for the corresponding Loa. For instance, celebration for a family of spirits called the Jeeds, who are personifications of dead ancestors, takes place on All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. Christian crosses became symbols for the crossroads, which represent life-altering choices and steps in the spiritual path for followers of voodoo. Catholic hymns and prayers became part of voodoo services. Several other influences affected voodoo as well, including the traditions of the local Taino tribes. The resulting form of voodoo is a creolized religion made up of influences from many other religions, but in spite of these additions, Haitian voodoo strongly resembles African voodoo. So like I said, they're kind of made from the same mold. Priestesses known as Mambos and priests known as Houngans. Someone that really knows their voodoo is going to listen to this and say, boys,
you guys are white as fuck.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Someone that casts a spell on us for sure.
Yeah.
Cast that big dick spell.
Please.
Conduct religious services and provide traditional folk remedies. People who wish to become Mambos or Houngans often enter an apprenticeship as initiatives with other leaders rather than joining a large-scale worship center. Many ceremonies take place in a structure called a hanfor, which serves as a temple or a sanctuary. As in Africa, possession is an important part of voodoo. Like we saw that lady eating that fucking pig neck.
Mm-hmm.
She was definitely possessed.
Something.
The person being possessed is often called a horse, who is ridden by the possessing Loa.
Oh, okay.
The possessed person may move unnaturally, speak in unknown languages, or make clear, direct statements to the other followers. Sacrifice is also important, and many ceremonies involve sacrificing goats, chickens, or other animals. In many cases, the combination of possession, animal sacrifice, and the ritual dancing and music that accompany them can seem dramatic, or even frightening to outside observers, which is what we just saw.
Yeah.
Anytime you're serving the kids some fucking ratchet-ass gas, I've got some questions to ask. Haitian voodoo also incorporates clothing, objects, and decorations to invoke or show respect for the Loa. So that's in what you're thinking of modern-day voodoo. When you're walking down the French Quarter or wherever in New Orleans and you see they got all these little things for these little trinkets, all these little skulls, all these little voodoo dolls, all this stuff that you can buy is kind of a souvenir, essentially. That's where that stuff comes from, because part of the Haitian voodoo thing is they make these kind of decorations or these little, I guess, things that are dedicated to just being creepy and fucking weird. And that's why all this, you can buy this stuff when you're walking around. You've been to New Orleans, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
They have shops like this? Like weird dark shops?
Not that I remember.
Okay. They do a lot of...
I'm sure there's tons of them, but I don't remember seeing...
They also do a lot of natural healing stuff in those shops
with
different herbs and spices and stuff they mix together. They can...
Yeah, I didn't pay too much attention to anything that wasn't alcohol related.
I can respect that.
So, yeah.
And I told you off air, I said I joined one of these voodoo groups, and the first video I saw was some big woman with dreadlocks fucking lighting roots on fire in her living room, just going at it. I don't know if she was trying to kill me or if she's after my family. I don't know if she was trying to kill all the frogs in the world. I don't know exactly what she was trying to do, but it looked like some scary shit. In a couple seconds, she definitely lost her grip on reality. She kind of fucking zoned the fuck out for a few minutes.
Oh, man.
It is what it is, man.
Why you check on that woman?
Yeah. To call to and invoke the Loa, people play a variety of drums, bells, and rattles. Altars hold numerous ritual objects, such as decorated bottles, dolls, or quees. Or
Queefs?
Calabashes full of food offering. Yeah, queefs.
Oh, okay.
They take these clay jars and they hold them up their vaginas and they queef in them like, and then they trap it in there and they put these jars with the trapped queefs up on the altar there.
Trapped queef.
You ever trap a queef in the car before you get out? When you get back in, you can still smell it?
No, I have not personally.
Through my infinite travels in my life, I did learn that queefs are not supposed to stink. So if your queefs do stink, ladies and gentlemen, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. We'll hook you up with a good gynecologist, proctologist, urologist, whatever you need to get that thing going, because fucking there's something stuck in it. And you, much like that fart that we love on the show, it may be stuck in the mud, and you need to talk to somebody about that. Okay? There's someone that sent us an email that said he flipped his wife in the butthole and that she is taken aback at first.
Okay.
But now she asks for it every day.
Good for him. And good for her.
Good for all of everybody involved.
A good old butthole flicking.
Oh, man. So, on to more modern day. Well, in African voodoo, Mambos and Haungans do not typically curse or harm other people. And that's kind of what the interpretation that people get, that all voodoo stuff is just bad shit, that they're trying to hurt you, which they do very much dabble in dark magic and dark spells and whatnot, but they use it to their I don't want to say use it to their advantage, but they know there's certain reasons for certain spells, okay? And they don't necessarily just go around like putting spells on people to shit their pants for no reason. The person had to do something to have a spell cast on them to make them poop their pants a lot.
I mean, they just don't see somebody in like an all-white tracksuit and all of a sudden one of them shit their pants.
That's the way it works. I had an incident at work last week where I was really far away from a bathroom and I knew I had a shit, but I got a really strong sphincter, so I don't worry about this stuff too much. But I said, I gotta go to the shitter, dude. I gotta make a direct beeline, and I get to the T where either I go left and I can go to a very plush, comfortable bathroom that I can be in by myself, or I go to the right, which is a little bit shorter of a walk, but it is fucking Poopapalooza, and everybody is in there blowing up this thing all day long.
Fucking troughs and shit.
Everyone just sits on the same toilet, and they poop in each other's laps. It pays to be on the top of the poop pile. It does not pay to be on the bottom of the poop pile.
Open your legs up a little more, man. This is going to be a messy one.
Make room for my poop. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go left. Longer walk, more comfortable, plush bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I made it like 100 steps into that walk, and I was about halfway there at that point. And I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. It was, I remember in school, when I used to sit on the hard seats, I would fart, and sometimes I'd get an air pocket trapped between my butt cheeks.
Yeah.
And then I could roll back and forth, and the fart bubble would travel from the bottom of my nutsack to the small of my back, and I could rock back and forth as long as I could keep that air properly trapped. I'm right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what it felt like. I said, oh my God, I got one of those bubbles trapped in my butt cheek. And it wasn't a bubble. It was just where I cut the head off real quick, and it was in there. But I arched fast enough that it didn't there was no TCC. There was no turnitin contact. But that was a really messy wipe, Rob Dog. And that has convinced me that I will start carrying...
You done cut the head off the prairie dog?
Yeah, I will start carrying the wet doo-doo wipes like
you have to, man.
Like you do, because I needed a fucking bath.
Yeah. Toilet paper just doesn't do you justice after one of those.
Too many back problems to hoist myself up into that sink and start splashing water on my butthole. Man. I know a lot of us don't like to talk about mental health. I am included in that group of people. oftentimes the things going on inside your head are stopping you or hindering you from achieving your goals and even happiness. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can connect with them in a safe and private online environment, so it's so convenient. I myself connected with our friends at BetterHelp, and it could not have been more perfect for me. And when I mean that, guys, it's so much cheaper than the alternatives we have in our everyday lives. They're going to help you get in a place mentally where you're proud and happy and you're not fighting the things internally that you were fighting alone before. You're going to connect with them in a safe and private online environment, so it's very convenient, and you can start communicating with a therapist in under 24 hours. It's not self-help, it's professional counseling. You can send a message to your counselor anytime. You're going to get a timely response. You're going to get a thoughtful response. You're going to be connecting with people that care about you. You can also schedule weekly video or phone sessions, all without ever having to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room. They have a wide range of professional counselors in anger, family conflicts, grief, self-esteem, stress, trauma, sleeping, relationships, depression, whatever you are dealing with inside your head. They have someone that can help you. Anything you share is completely confidential. I can't say enough about the professionalism and the convenience of BetterHelp. It's also far more affordable than your typical counselors and therapists. And in fact, so many people are connecting with BetterHelp right now that they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. Listen up, guys. I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener of the Brohio podcast, you'll get 10% off their already low prices your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/Brohio. That's 10% off your first month. All you have to do is go to betterhelp.com/Brohio. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's betterhelp, HELP.com/Brohio. Some followers believe that Bachers, okay, and I looked this one up, I am pronouncing this correctly.
That almost sounds racist.
Or sorcerers have the ability to use magic to cause misfortune or injury. Bachers are also part of zombie lore. Some believe that a Bacher can use poisons and capture a person's soul to create a zombie. Now on to a little more modern day voodoo. In New Orleans, they're other known as fetish markets. Places catering to the needs of voodoo practitioners sell all sorts of unbelievable products, from powdered chameleon. I think that are chameleon. Yeah, powdered chameleon, like a fucking lizard.
Chameleon. Yeah,
for mental agility.
You can powder a chameleon.
To ground horse's skull for strength. To love charms guaranteed to woo your romantic interest. These markets can be found all over West Africa, parts of Haiti, and in novelty shops around the French Quarter in New Orleans. For those with a genuine interest in voodoo practice, the assortment of products is truly astounding. Assorted shells and crystals. They have snake skins, dried herbs, animal heads, pelts, insect parts, all ready to be burned, ground up, eaten, or added to a potion in an attempt to honor the gods. I think that, one of my friends went to the Dominican and brought back a weed or some kind of drink, some type of, it was like it was a root or a weed that was in wine.
Okay.
And he said that if you drink this, you and your wife drink, or I think he just wanted me, he said, you will be a sexual deviant, a demon in the bed that night. And I drank this stuff, dude.
Yeah?
It lit my loins on fire, dude. That night, I was like Superman with a boner. I was flying through the bedroom. I did the thing where I hang from the chandelier from the piercing, and I did all kinds of wild stuff. I'll have to look it up. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, definitely look that up.
And some of these markets, they have priests, fetish priests who you can consult with. They'll consult with the gods directly.
Isn't that just a Catholic priest? Yikes.
You just go in there and say, hey, man, I just need some fucking help. And this voodoo witch doctor was, okay, let's get this taken care of. These priestesses, a little different than the ones you grew up with, Rob Dog, for sure.
Okay.
Now on to voodoo dolls, which I know kind of everyone wants to know more about how the voodoo dolls work. Let's check my Facebook real quick and make sure none of these people have I have nothing incoming from any of these witches. Hey, we're back. Rob had a pee.
Yep, it happens.
Saved it. We're good. We're so good right now.
Awesome.
So let's talk about the voodoo dolls for a second.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot of common misconceptions with voodoo dolls. I think that mostly voodoo dolls are used to inflict pain upon people, but that's not always the case. Voodoo dolls can be used to kind of aid in trying to make the good things happen in your life. They can be used for that. Your voodoo doll may bring you riches or good luck, but nothing is free. You have to remember that. There's usually a trade, so be careful what you wish for. This has been proven true far too many times where people have created voodoo dolls of themselves to try and put themselves in a better situation. But in that spiritual dark realm of magic, you have to remember that with every thing you do, there's a trade-off. It's kind of
definitely.
Did you ever watch Princess and the Frog?
No.
There's I can't remember. There's a fucking voodoo witch doctor in it, but he makes a lot of deals, and that's kind of his thing. Okay. There's a lot of trade-offs, and those dark spirits like to have things given to them when they help you in your life.
Okay, that makes sense.
You don't want to lose sight of that when you're trying to create a voodoo doll.
Yeah.
You want to fuck somebody up, there has to be a trade-off.
Okay.
And there's also the zombies.
All right, here we go.
And I didn't know this about zombies. Zombies are people that have been zombified by voodoo priests. It's considered dark voodoo, and it's done to make them slaves, usually to work in the fields.
That's slavery.
It is. And this is, I don't remember where I got the story from, but it's paraphrasing, but this is someone's personal experience with a family member that was utilizing zombies.
Nice.
My great-grandfather had zombies. He was a wealthy man, and he used them to work the fields. To make them, he had a voodoo priest make the transition. After being buried, they would be pulled out of the ground as shells of what they once were. Somebody taught me once how to tell if somebody is a zombie or not. It's all in the eyes. I can't remember exactly what they told me, only there is an emptiness in there. They mindlessly walk around doing their master's bidding. I've seen some walking around while I was growing up. My great-grandfather had a lot of them. They would work them fields as slaves to their master, but sometimes something would cause the voodoo magic to wear off. It was usually caused by an encounter with a past loved one or something that triggered a very powerful past memory. One of my grandfather's zombies had something like this happen to him, and the zombie tried to kill him. My mother was there, and she has told me the story a few times. She'd said that she saw her grandfather stop the zombie from killing him and cut off the head of the zombie right in front of her. Isn't that pretty
That's
aggressive?
Awesome.
Is there somebody in here? The door's open.
Fucking zombie.
I
just didn't shut it behind me. You can keep going. I'll shut it.
Yeah. Well, I think this room is definitely haunted after everything we've talked about for all these years. And when I did a little more digging about this zombie stuff, and I think that people that have investigated the voodoo and zombie relationship say that what these priests do is they give these people some type of, it's like a spice or an herb, some type of root, some type of drug. I don't know.
Horny goat weed.
We don't fucking use it here. We might use it. There's no telling. We have a lot of shit here. But they give this to them, and they literally bury them in the ground just enough to where they can still breathe, just enough where they almost can't breathe. But they give them this drug, and it induces brain damage. It gives the people that receive the drug small elements of brain damage. And when they come back to, when they unbury them and get them out of the ground, they're much like a zombie. They're in like a zombie trance. They can do small, mundane tasks. You tell them, hey, sit here and color this picture all fucking day, Rodney. And they'll sit there and color the picture all day long. Or you can say, go out here and plow the fields all day long. And they'll just plow the fields all day. But this is where the word zombie comes from, is these voodoo priests will give them this herb or this drug, and it renders them pretty much incapacitated, except for a small amount of the brain left that they can do these mundane, easy tasks.
That's crazy.
Which they utilize these people in the fields as cheap slavery, essentially, and they use them to work in the fields and perform all these tasks on their plantations. That's some pretty interesting stuff.
It's very interesting.
Crazy stuff. The next one is, I didn't know this, but the werewolves have their origin in voodoo.
Werewolves.
I think you're thinking about Michael Jackson and Thriller, where doesn't he turn into a werewolf at the end or the beginning? Yeah,
and then does that sweet dance.
It's such a good song, dude.
It is.
It's a good album.
Very, very much.
God, such a good album. These werewolves are different than the werewolves that you and I think of. I think, just some hairy fucker with Red Rocket standing in the middle of the street just howling at the sky.
I think of a young Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, with just like a little bit of sweat on his chest. And
yeah.
That's definitely what I think about.
Jumping out of a window and transforming into a werewolf.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's jerk off, or let's watch that when we're done here.
Okay.
Werewolves aren't really what you think. The Creole translation to English comes out that way, but they are usually winged monsters. Okay, that's what I call my nuts, is the winged monster. They can be half wolf or half bird or any animal, but werewolf just means that they practice an evil art of voodoo where they wear the skin of an animal and kill in the night. There have been many men who have been lynched when they were found out to be werewolves. This is a story I'm reading. There's a story about a werewolf that stole a newborn baby in the middle of the night. They eat the newborns because they feed on innocence, and there's nothing more innocent than a newborn baby. Fucking just like the elites right now, they're in the adrenochrome and all that stuff. Dude, I was reading, never mind. I'll tell you I don't even want to say it on the podcast, but I'll talk to you about it when we're done recording.
Okay.
One night, one of these werewolves, or winged monsters, entered a house and scooped up a newborn baby. The crying woke up the family, and as they ran outside towards the cries, all they saw was the winged creature's silhouette against the moon flying into the darkness. Werewolves are normal men that use voodoo to use the skin of an animal to turn themselves into monsters in the night.
Maybe Epstein was a werewolf.
For sure. Because they are so strong when in their skin, the best way to kill a werewolf is when it is in the form of a man. A hero decided to go and rescue the baby before it was eaten. He was able to find the house of the werewolf. When he was there, he noticed that the skin of the werewolf was left off. He poured salt on the skin, and it shriveled away. Without a skin, the werewolf didn't stand a chance against the hero, and he was slain.
Oh.
The hero returned the baby to the family.
Good for him.
I hope it's a true story.
I hope so, too.
No one likes dead babies.
Not at all.
Unless they're the ones you're letting go in the shower. That's a little different. That's from masturbating.
Those are just swimmers at that point.
Yeah. Swimmers. Swim free.
Swimmers.
Let's talk about selling your soul real quick.
Yeah, let's do it. I've already done it 3 times. No payoff.
This is another story that I found on the internet. It says,
good.
She came from a family with money, and apparently it all started with her great-grandfather, who single-handedly became one of the richest men in all of Haiti in a very short period of time.
It means he had $50,000.
Probably a lot less than that. How was he able to do it? It's a very interesting story. My great-grandfather was very successful and is the reason that my family now has money. However, they say he didn't achieve such wealth without the help of voodoo.
Okay.
He sold his soul to the devil. He became very rich very fast, but selling your soul to the devil doesn't come without a price. Every year, a demon comes to collect something of value. There are many stories of tragedy where the demons supposedly took various people and things of importance from my grandfather. He ended up living well over 100 years, so the stories grew and grew. He finally died, and it was accepted that the reason he lived so long was because the devil was helping him. Our family saw untold amounts of success because of his deal with the devil, but also much hardship because of the consequences. My mother says the devil still tries to collect from the family. A few years ago, something happened to my brother. He was in the room in Haiti, and something woke him up. The room was very dark, but he could clearly see 2 red, evil-looking eyes staring at him from the foot of his bed. He could make out the silhouette of a little girl, but it was too dark to see any features of her face other than her red eyes. She slowly moved closer to him, touching his leg and moving up his torso.
Hell nah.
He didn't know what she wanted, only that she wanted to do him harm.
She wanted to fuck.
She wants to see your smegma, boy. He was completely paralyzed in his bed. He tried to move, but something wouldn't let him, and he could only watch as her finger, now at his stomach, moved up his body towards his face. When she got to his head, she moved her head closer to his, and as her mouth was approaching his, a figure appeared behind the red-eyed girl and chased her off. It was the great-grandfather who had sold his soul to the devil. When the girl was gone, his great-grandfather smiled at him and vanished.
What the fuck? He didn't even say anything. He just peaced out.
Yeah. That fucking creepy, dude.
Good night.
Oh, God.
That's fucking weird.
That's so weird.
They're just trying to put that WAP down on him.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of WAP right there.
Oh, definitely.
And next, I located on Ranker a few stories, 10 stories of people that, just stories of voodoo curses going bad.
Okay.
And there's a lot of them right here, but
Awesome.
I'll let you take this first one.
Sure. Let's see here. There we go. I felt chills running up and down my spine while visualizing the story.
That's my story. That's what I didn't read from the last one.
Okay, well, fuck my ass.
We got to go to the Curse of Julia Brown.
There we go. Curse of Julia Brown, the voodoo priestess of Manchac Swamp. That was definitely Julia Brown right there.
What?
I don't know. In the early 20th century, Julia Brown was a local healer and magic practitioner in Frenier, Louisiana. She would travel all over the village to perform rituals for people, and she was well known for her magic touch. Unfortunately, the people began to take advantage of her, demanding her help. What are you doing over there?
I'm spraying, trying to freshen the air around me, bro.
Okay.
Poop my pants.
Unfortunately, the people began to take advantage of her, demanding her help, until she began fighting back. Those she deemed disrespectful and ungrateful would be given terrifying predictions, or she would curse them. In the last few weeks before her death in 1915, Brown would sing her curse for the town of Frenier to herself over and over. One day I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna take all of you with me. Her passing came as she predicted, and the whole town went to her funeral to pay their respects out of fear. As they began to nail Brown's coffin shut, a devastating hurricane tore through the village, killing all but 2 people. Just as the priestess had promised, the town died with her. Brown's curse seemingly lives on. Many developers have tried to rebuild the area over the years with no luck.
That's wild, dude.
That is crazy.
You know, back then they didn't have fucking meteorologists and shit. When a hurricane was coming, they just looked like another storm.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker would show up and kill everybody. That's wild. This is about Adolfo Costanzo, was a cult leader, serial killer, and practitioner of an offshoot of Haitian Voodoo. In the 1980s, he gave psychic readings and worked magic for dangerous drug cartels and hitmen.
Okay.
I guess that's what they do in their spare time.
That sounds like an industry I'd love to be in.
He'd cast spells to bring luck, curse enemies, and was somehow able to keep his clients from getting busted. His rituals involved the sacrifices of chickens, goats, snakes, and even humans. Costanza finally overstepped when his followers kidnapped an affluent American student named Mark Kilroy to use as a sacrifice. Police began tracking Kilroy and eventually found Costanza's base of operations. With his ranch of horrors was finally raided by police, they uncovered 15 mutilated corpses and Kilroy's dismembered body. Constanzo was so determined to stay out of prison that he ordered one of his followers to shoot him.
Oh, okay.
Which he obliged and fucking killed him.
Sure. Next story. A voodoo curse allegedly drove a 14-year-old to murder his little sister. It was witchcraft, Ronald Eric Salazar said when asked to explain the brutal murder and rape of his 11-year-old sister, Marina Estefani Salazar, in 2005. He was just 14 years old when he killed her. Salazar originally blamed 2 armed men for his sister's death, but later confessed to the horrific crime himself. Allegedly, a witch in El Salvador claimed the boy had inherited an old voodoo curse from his father once he left for the U.S. in 1991. The boy was left behind with his grandparents and his father's curse. Once Salazar was able to make his way to America, he brought the curse with him, and it drove him to kill his sister.
Wow.
Cursed or not, he was sentenced to 2 life terms in prison in October of 2009. Judge is like, I'm sorry. Even you may have a curse, but you're still got to do 2 life sentences.
Yeah, you're gonna get fucked real hard in the shower in prison.
Yeah,
which that does happen.
Yeah,
I don't want to get it twisted. It does happen.
Don't church it up. But
this next one was about a massive outbreak of cholera. Well, I mispronounced this once.
I always fuck this up.
And people just
cholera
tore me up.
It looks like it's cholera, but I don't think that's how you pronounce it.
Cholera pronunciation. Let's hear.
Cholera.
There we
go.
Cholera.
See?
Cholera. A massive outbreak of cholera claimed the lives of 2,500 people across Haiti in 2010. Another 63,500 people are hospitalized, and 120 coronavirus ain't got shit.
Fuck no.
Another 121,000 were treated for the symptoms. Many Haitians assumed the outbreak was due to a voodoo curse, and they began attacking voodoo priests in the area.
Oh, man.
Mobs lynched at least 45 people, while others were being beaten, stoned, and hacked with machetes before being set on fire. This was fucking 10 years ago.
This was not long ago at all.
But these Haitians, they were not playing around. They said they knew exactly who was causing this shit.
Damn.
What if here in America, if we decided that we knew who was causing the coronavirus and we just started cutting them up, just chopping them up?
I wouldn't be mad.
Beating their fucking heads in on the pavement and shit.
It happens, man.
You know, I heard one of my most favorite things either today or yesterday. I don't remember. And we're not, disclaimer, not political dudes. But I heard someone grilling Trump about the wildfires in California.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said,
I think there's wildfires all over the fucking country right now.
He said, science supports that global warming is, climate change is causing these wildfires.
It's fucking people.
Well, Trump said, you're talking to this dude, he said,
yeah,
science is wrong.
Okay. Science can physically be proven.
I know.
That's what science has to have proof.
He's such a fucking dumpling. He's such a fucking idiot, dude. But my kids, they asked me today, they said, do you like Donald Trump? And I just thought about it for a second. And I just came back, I said,
it's never a dull day.
I said, sweetheart, I think he's a funny dude. And this is exactly what I said. I think he's a funny dude, but I think he's an idiot. And she said, okay. But I said, he's just like, you have to find out what suits you best and kind of decide who you want to support or what you want to stand for. I said, Daddy doesn't care about much. And she even said that. She cut herself off. She's like, you don't care. And I said, no, I have a small opinion about him and some other stuff. But just hearing that today, he's like, science is wrong. So I said, man.
Oh, man. We live in some fun times.
Exactly like you said. There's never a dull moment. He's just
never.
God, man.
I know. It's just like reality TV, man, every day.
I hope that even if he is, even if Joe Biden is elected, they still keep Trump around the White House and interview him occasionally. But if he is not elected president,
hey, man, Trump's trying to go for a 3rd term.
Oh, he'll try to be Trump for the rest of it, president for the rest of his life.
He's going to try to instate a 3rd term.
What I am looking forward to is if he doesn't get elected, the shit show parade that's going to go on from November until he leaves office in the beginning of January. How much of a fucking shit parade that he'll be on. So,
it's going to be fun to see everything unfold as it happens anyways.
I'm very much on board with the Joe Rogan thing that was proposed where him and Joe Biden go on the Rogan show and
especially just because Joe doesn't take shit, so if he senses bullshit, he'll call out.
Yeah.
He'll call out on it.
I feel like Joe Biden has a caring heart is what he kind of portrays that. So.
He really loves kids.
I used to sit on my lap, pat my legs, watch the water come out of my wiener, and I used to piss on these kids. He's a weird,
sit in my lap, talk about the first thing that pops up.
He's kind of a weird dude, man.
Yeah, they're both fucking weird.
Really fucking
Anywho,
weird.
Next story. Father cursed by voodoo killed his children and himself. This is in fucking Staten Island. Resident Franz Bordas,
Sure, nailed it.
Sure, insisted that a relative had put a voodoo curse on him. In late August 2006, he drowned his 2 children in a bathtub, and then he jumped in front of a train.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's fucking great. Way to go, France. Fucking loser.
France,
you fucking idiot. Rambling notes written by Bordas in English and Creole were found by his bed. They all spoke of the curse, with Bordas claiming that voodoo had been used against him.
All right, that's pretty good stuff. Next one, sex traffickers reportedly controlled their victims with voodoo.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay, cool.
In the 2000s, Nigerian sex traffickers not only lured women to Spain under false pretenses, but they also claimed to use voodoo to control them. The victims were extremely poor, and the couple leading the operation would cover their travel expenses and promise them jobs in Europe. Once the women arrived in Spain, they were kidnapped and forced into sexual work. In addition to the threatening the well-being of their families, the sex traffickers performed voodoo ceremonies and animal sacrifices in front of the women. During these rituals, the women were forced to pledge their loyalty and obedience. They were told that they would go mad and become horribly sick if they failed to obey any orders. The couple was arrested by Spanish police in July of 2015. All right.
Cool.
I'm going to do some voodoo on my wife tonight. I'll let you guys know.
Let me know how that works.
All right.
Stalker ex-boyfriend tormented his wife with voodoo before killing her.
Sweet.
He tried to kill Florence all the time with voodoo, said Sylvia St. Louis when asked about her daughter's relationship with a strange husband. After Florence Bolo of Brockton, Mass. left her abusive husband, Jean-Michel Beaulieu. He apparently turned to voodoo and stalking to intimidate her. Florence filed a police report and requested a restraining order after finding ritual candles on her doorstep late one night. Tragically, though, that was not enough. Jean-Michel murdered his estranged wife on May 16, 2014. The 37-year-old mother of 4 was discovered by her own children. That is awful.
That's pretty bad.
The following day, Jean-Michel was arrested trying to cross the Canadian border. Not even the Canadians are going to save you, buddy.
Jeez. That's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
I also read in the voodoo culture that twins are they're almost like godlike figures.
Okay.
They're
What about triplets?
I don't know. They didn't say anything about triplets, but
You would think that more babies came out at once, it'd be more godly.
just twins are more. They're in touch spiritually with the other side,
Okay.
and that they can't be separated at all. And if one twin dies, they oftentimes make a doll, and they like spiritually flood the doll, and they make the surviving twin carry the doll around to
weird.
honor the twin that passed away.
I thought you were just going to say they killed the other one, too.
Fuck that! No, they kill it. They just kill the other twin. But they in the voodoo culture, they really think highly of twins. Almost like one of those Middle Eastern cultures, they really get down with cows. I don't know which one it is.
India's like that.
Okay, cows are the shit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They're the cat's meow. But that's how voodooism sees twins.
I was watching a shoot interview with Hornswoggle not too long ago, and he was talking about how one night he was roading with Kali.
That's a big dude, man.
And he said he was talking about how they went out to Denny's and Kali stepped out, and so he ordered Hornswoggle ordered him a burger on accident. And then Kali went crazy.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, I no eat that. He's like, oh shit, I forgot they're like holy.
Yeah. They do not eat the beef, for sure. Save the beef for me. I like red meat. I want to die young. So
Yes, give me all the red meat.
give me all the beef. Let's see. I got a notification. Is it someone? Nope, just someone liking my status. Fuck all of you. I'm looking for a witch. They're not going to find her. It's okay. We just had to dial back about 17 minutes of audio because I read a story. It was a long tongue version of something we'd already read, and it was completely ruined my night. This scatterbrained, shitty-ass research that we do. A Florida man named Valdano Rich...
So we are going back to the two we skipped.
was convinced a voodoo curse had been set on him. He claimed that Dennis Donahue had allegedly sprayed Rich with voodoo water. That's
a thing?
That's like piss water, but it's
just
voodoo
pig
water.
blood?
And has stolen his soul. Rich said killing Donahue was the only way to break the curse and restore his soul. In December of 2012, Rich went to Donahue's home and shot him. He faces a charge of first-degree murder. Yeah. And what if these people are really trying to defend themselves from true voodoo curses? And that's kind of that's the flip side of this.
Yeah.
Well, this shit really works, man. These people are justifiably killing people that are voodoo witch doctors and witches, voodoo priestesses, priests, all this wild shit, man.
They might be. Who knows?
I don't like all this dark black magic shit, man.
No, I don't like it at all.
I mean, we've talked about it on the show before. Where when I was in middle school, I had that really ugly girl.
Put a curse on you?
She was a witch.
Yeah,
and she cursed me after I wouldn't give her the time of the day.
Nope, they're the dogs.
My dogs hear something.
I always forget who the girl was. I'll ask you again.
I'll tell you when we're done here. But years later, when we grew up, she got really overweight, and she was mowing her grass, and she fell backwards down a hill and pulled the lawnmower.
Oh, yeah, never mind. I know who she is. Yeah.
But she chopped her big toe off.
Looks like your curse backfired.
So you may have tried to turn me into a fat fucking frog. But if you're listening... Guess who's got 2 big toes? Got both of them.
I got 10.
Got big old bushy hairs on the top of my big toe knuckles, too. I got guys that suck on my feet.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you don't know about... I'm not going to talk to you about it because I don't want you trying to get in on this deal. But I got guys that suck on my toes. brohiopodcast@gmail.com. You're looking for $10 an hour tax-free.
Under the table.
Yeah.
If you got a felony record and you need employment, hey.
We do employ felons here at the Brohio Podcast.
Hey.
I still want to talk to that guy in Scotland that had a stolen phone that was listening to us in prison.
I wonder how he's doing.
He's probably been shanked.
He had that phone pushed in.
Not getting that one back. Why don't you tell him about the voodoo?
The voodoo hex murder of Shelbyville. On March 22nd, 1957, the body of Simon Warner was found shot. Warner considered himself a crime doctor, okay, I don't know, that's a thing, with psychic abilities he used to solve or prevent crimes. Unfortunately, he didn't see his own murder coming when Moses H. Martin, I'm sorry, that's Mose H. Martin walked through his doors seeking healing magic for stomach issues.
All right.
According to Martin, he paid Warner $50 for a cure and his stomach ailment only grew worse. He was convinced Warner had hexed him on purpose. He confessed to Officer Durwood Thompson, saying, "I shot him because he double-crossed me in voodoo. I would have shot anybody who double-crossed me in black magic like he did."
Oh, Jesus.
Is a double-crossing in voodoo worse than just a normal double-crossing?
It's much worse.
I would think so, especially if you got robbed for $50 and he got worse stomach problems.
I did read about voodoo darts as well. It's a game they play where it's usually the male practitioners, but they called voodoo darts. They just get naked and fuck each other.
Okay.
Right in the ass.
That works.
Until a bunch of voodoo mud comes out. They call it voodoo mud. I think it's poop.
I remember, this is completely off topic, of course, like this entire episode, like all of our episodes are. I remember there was an episode of Hey Arnold where Helga went into a voodoo shop to get a love potion. Do you remember that one?
I think I do. One of the few ones I do remember. I wasn't.
Yeah, and then she found out at the very end it was just like fucking grape soda or something. Like, this is what this guy got.
Even better.
Right.
Why don't you tell us about that little spiritual awakening you had at the church there, at that weird church you went to? You're telling us about earlier in the episode where there was some wild shit going on.
Yeah, so one of my friends growing up had their parents had a church. Well, it was kind of like a church. Pretty much it was The back half was a huge warehouse.
Okay.
And the front part, this was on the same road our school was on.
Okay.
But the front part of it was an office space. And these two kids that I hung out with, they were brothers. One of them I hung out with, but the other one was a little bit older, which I still, hung out with as well. We were like in a band together and all that stuff, but his parents were crazy Christians, like speak in tongues.
Pentecostals.
Yeah, there you go, Pentecostals. It was crazy. So I'd always wondered about, like, because I don't know anything really about religion or what the difference is between them.
I did it for a long time. I don't know anything about it either.
Yeah, and so they had like service every so often, but for a punishment, the one friend I hung with, his parents hated him. So he
nice.
I called him and I was like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing? Let's hang out." And he's like, "Okay, let's hang out." He's like, "Come get me though. I'm at the church." I'm like, "Okay." And when he says he's at the church, he's in the warehouse, and it's literally a warehouse. Like there's bay doors that semi trucks would come to, not for them, but whenever it was like a different business. And it was like my favorite. This is like one of my favorite stories ever. They had him in this huge ass warehouse, sweeping it with the smallest broom I've ever seen in my life. I said it looked like one of those umpire brooms that he used to sweep the fucking home plate. And
he must have fucked up for sure.
Oh, dude, they hated him so much. And as we were sitting there talking, and we were just talking about how much he hates his parents and stuff, and his older brother came in, and they was like he was like talking to us, and he told us that they were about to have service up there. I'm like, man, I kind of want to go see what's going on. And he's like, you do not want to go up there. I'm like, no, I really do. And he's like, man, it's really fucking weird. Like, they're into some weird shit. And of course, because their parents were so like strict and so hard on them, they were completely not religious whatsoever, like in the slightest. Worse. Yeah. And so finally I help him clean up a little bit, but his older brother needs to go up there to get something or to tell him that they're leaving. So I'm like, fuck yes, I'm going to go with them. So I walk up there, and I walk up the steps. I can hear, the first thing I see is his mom and his dad on stage. Yeah, his mom is singing like Yoko Ono, and his dad's playing the guitar. I think she might have been playing the bongos too. And I walk up the stairs, and besides them, the other thing that I saw was like how it was decorated. It was like a lot of real flowy, like almost like lace curtains, like all over the walls and the ceiling. And there was one room right in front of the top of the stairs. It was like they kind of had like a shrine set up on the wall, and there was one woman laying completely face down with her arms outstretched, just completely flexible, like she was planking. Yeah, and there was you walk around the corner and there was someone sitting in the chair, and she was just like gyrating and like eyes rolled back in her head. Yeah, and talking in tongues. And that's all it was a room full of people that were chanting and gyrating along with her. And it was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen before. He was definitely right. I definitely didn't want to see
weird shit, dude.
Yeah, it was really freaky. Yeah. They literally are just kind of like how they explained, like that was like almost like seeing zombies to me. It was like really
crazy,
weird,
dude. Yeah. I dated a girl, and she took me. She asked me if I. She said, "Will you go to church with me on Sunday so my parents can see that you will go to church with me?" I said, "Of course I'll go." And it was a Pentecostal church. She said it's a holy roller church. I said, in my mind, I'm thinking, holy. They're just fucking big timing. They're big timers.
Right, that's what it sounds like.
But dude, she went to the bathroom during praise and worship, and then her dad slid over next to me. And this dude smelled like he had ate a fucking turd with his coffee before he came to church that day. And I was on the end of the aisle, and he's like leans over next to me. He's like, "So what do you think of this place?" And I'm thinking, you power wash your mouth out, you fat dick. But then I took a step kind of out into the aisle to get away from him, because literally cigarette and coffee breath is the stinkiest shit.
It's bad.
When I stepped out into the aisle, this 300-pound fucking bitch rolls on my Achilles and folds me like a lawn chair because she was empowered by the Holy Spirit, and I did not know what a holy roller church was. That's where these people fucking get on the ground and roll around like goddamn tumbleweeds. Yes,
no
dude.
way.
They lay on the ground just like a big old barrel
and
of whiskey.
Barrel roll?
And they just fucking roll like you're a kid rolling down a hill, and they roll down the aisles.
It's like the old Donkey Kong Mario game.
They just roll down the aisles, and this fucking fat bitch rolled me up like a lawn chair, dude. I folded back. I felt like a lineman in the NFL. I fell backwards on my leg.
If only you were dressed like Mario, just hopping over him.
And I made an audible like, "Wah!" Because it fucking hurt my leg, dude. I hurt my Achilles and my calf and my ankle. And I stood up, and I was playing like football at the time, and I stood. I'm like, I think I broke my fucking leg. Like, I am hurt.
Tore your ACL.
Yeah. So I am injured. And she came back. She's like, "Are you okay?" Because I was like sweating and my face is red. I said, "Yeah." And I said, "That fucking bitch rolled on my leg." She's like, "I thought you knew what a holy roller church was. Where were you?" I said, "I was standing in the aisle." She's like, "Why were you standing in the aisle?" And I just needed to scoot over for a second. I didn't want to tell her because her dad's breath smelled like a hot turd ass, but I was trying to take one step over to get away from him, and she fucking folded me up, dude. I wanted to stand up and stomp on this bit, but her purple hair, she was already 30 feet down the aisle by the time I could have caught up with her.
She was rolling.
This bitch rolled all the way until she hit the stage, and then she stopped, and she started kicking like a little toddler throwing a fit.
Hell yeah.
I was so mad.
She was in the Lord's mosh pit.
Then this dude come rolling after her, and his glasses like fell off and were laying next to my feet. I want to step on his fucking glasses so bad, but I didn't do it.
A holy roller church.
Yeah,
I've never
dude.
heard of that.
Yeah, it's a real thing. They get filled full of the Holy Spirit.
If you were a part of a holy roller church and you got mowed down, or if you mowed somebody down, let us know.
Yeah, man, it's crazy shit. Let's see if I can find anything on the...
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like watching the miracle healing churches.
Holy rollers. That's hold on, I was making sure I was recording. It didn't look like I was recording for a second.
Yeah, we were zoomed out real far.
Let's see what's going on right here.
All right, I'm excited.
Holy rollers.
Let's see here.
Rolling for Jesus.
Yes, this is the shit that I like. This is fun.
Oh yeah, they're gyrating. Holy rollers.
Oh man, there's a snake.
He's slithering like a snake, dude. He's getting the fuck down. They're all dancing.
They're having fun.
Oh, look at her. She's taking off. She's dancing like a chicken.
Oh, her wig flew off.
Her wig fell. She's rolling on the pastor.
I love when the pastors hit them and then they fall. There you go. Oh, there we go. Yes. This is the shit I'm talking about. I love watching this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're dancing and moving all around. Oh, some wild shit. Look at these people. Just filled full of Jesus right here. Filled full of Jeebus. God damn. But yeah, these fucking people just...
He was running out like there was a fire.
America faces tough challenges. We find strength together.
What is playing on my audio right here?
This recovery is
I don't know.
Take energy, and we
Probably there. It's that window.
Page.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, these people just...
Man.
Look at them. They just roll on the ground. She's smacking
she's
her
twerking.
ass. Yeah, she's riding something. She's riding the invisible demon dick. But this grandma, purple hair and all, rolled me up, about broke my ankle.
Man.
I was about to get that bitch on the way out.
I just find it so interesting.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. Like, if you were to see somebody doing that in like public, you would think they were having like an episode or something.
I'd step on them. I'd put them out of their fucking misery, dude.
You would definitely think like a seizure or something.
Oh, it's some wild stuff.
It's so fucking weird, man.
We should get...
And I'm not shitting on the religion at all. It's just I find it very interesting.
That's weird. We should get body cams and little hidden cameras and go to one of these churches.
Infiltrate a holy roller church?
Holy roller church, yeah.
Do they advertise they're a holy roller church?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, they don't at all.
Okay.
But what we could do is we could get you a really good camera, something, and we should return the favor that was given to me some, 15, 20 years ago. And I should do my goddamnedest to roll and try and hurt somebody really bad. We should get it on film.
You have to take out an old person since an old person took you out.
Yeah, we should do that. But another thing with the holiday season approaching, I keep on having this thing on my heart. I want to call it Brohio love.
Okay.
Brohio loves. And I thought about throwing up like whatever we can do for like some type of crowd fund thing where people can donate money and then we take the cash, whatever it is, and then you and me go to a restaurant, some shitty restaurant, and find some waitress or waiter that obviously looks like they have a lot of kids and they ran the fuck down. You know, get like and we'll match it. Get like
You have to go to like a Waffle House.
You know, like $1,000. Try and get together like $1,000, and just the beginning of December, take this cash, document all of it for tax purposes, and just so it doesn't look like we're trying to fucking run off with a bunch of money.
Yeah,
and just give cash to some unsuspecting waiter or waitress, and just to fucking help somebody get through the holidays, and just say, there's a lot of good people out there.
I'm definitely down to help.
Oh. I don't need you to. We don't need to do anything. We just need to get the cash and then go do it.
And do it.
Yeah.
I'm down.
I think that'd be a beautiful thing.
For sure.
Someone just looks run down, hard on their luck, just like us, really hard up around the holidays and just hurts. We just kind of make things better for somebody that, that's probably struggling through it, man. I want to do that.
That'd be great.
I know. And
I'm about it.
Leave Jesus completely out of it.
Yeah.
Just say, we were brought here by Satan.
Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes.
To give us, yeah. Leave us a really well-worded one star. We prefer to read those. But just call it Brohio Loves or something like that, man. I also thought about how spoiled my fucking kids are and how much junk they have. And I thought about sponsoring a family this year. My mom wants to do that. She's kind of got me talked into that. But just sponsor a family, super low-income family, and try and make their holiday a little better.
That'd be great.
But the cash thing to some unsuspecting low-income employee, I really think we should do that.
I'm about it.
All right. Let us know what you guys think about that. If you would want to help out with that, we would match as long as it wasn't something fucking ridiculous. You got like $5,000. I'd be like, well, Rob, looks like that person's getting $5,000. None of our money, so... Let us know what you think. Send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Reach out to us on Facebook. We're facebook.com/brohiopodcast, twitter.com/brohiopodcast, Instagram/brohiopodcast.
Everywhere.
At brohiopodcast, not the Brohio Podcast. We are at Brohio Podcast everywhere you go. We solidified that when we first started out. We said we're going to be at Brohio Podcast everywhere we go. Send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Jamel, thank you for listening to our Voodoo episode. Thank you for not rolling onto my ankles when you were a fat woman back in the early 2000s. Sorry to Roberto for all the weird things he saw at that church there.
It's okay. I've recovered fully.
Until next time, lovers.
Love you.